This story may sound short, and it may be hard to believe. Honestly, if someone told me, I would probably doubt it too. Even now, I still don't understand it. I'm from Mexicali, where I lived until I was 18, before moving to Tijuana to study at the Autonomous University of Baja California. At first, I visited my family in Mexicali from time to time by bus. But halfway through college, I was able to buy a car, and then I started visiting them almost every weekend. I had already heard things about La Rumorosa. First, of course, how dangerous it is to drive there and the many accidents that happen. But also about the strange things people claim to see. I remember one story my mom used to tell us when we were kids. Her parents, my grandparents, were driving from Mexicali to Tijuana. Before climbing up the Rumorosa on the stretch of road through La Laguna Salada, a part of the desert, it was late at night. My grandfather was the only one awake. My grandmother and my aunts were sleeping in the back seat. Suddenly, my grandfather saw a woman standing by the side of the road, as if asking for a ride. He drove a bit further, stopped, and woke up my grandmother. They both got out to see if the girl needed help. But there was no one there. She had disappeared. They thought maybe my grandfather had imagined it, until my aunts woke up and my grandmother explained why they had stopped. My grandfather turned around to explain more, but suddenly he saw my aunt's face change. Her eyes opened wide in terror. When he looked forward again, he saw the woman sitting on the hood of the car, smiling at all four of them. I could never get that story out of my head whenever I passed through there. One Friday night, after school, I was with my girlfriend. I told her the story, and when we said goodbye, she told me to be careful. She gave me a kiss, and for some reason it felt like the last one. I left Tijuana around 9 at night. By 10 I was already near Tecate. Normally I would stop for coffee or bread, but that night I decided not to. Around 10:40, I entered the area of La Rumorosa. There are small abandoned ranches every few kilometers, but otherwise it's deserted. That's when I heard a loud sound, like a trailer horn right next to me. Then lights, blinding lights, coming not just from behind, but from every direction. I couldn't tell where they came from. The noise stopped suddenly. The lights vanished. My hands were shaking on the wheel. I was just looking for a place to stop. But then the lights appeared again. I felt like at any moment I would crash into something or go off the road. I heard the sound of trucks, getting closer and closer, until it felt like they were about to hit me. In panic, I swerved off the road. My instinct told me it was safer to fall into a ditch than to crash head-on with whatever was coming. I felt the car bump onto dirt, but I still couldn't see anything. I hit the brakes completely. The sound grew louder, like a trailer right above me. I closed my eyes and thought of my family, my girlfriend, and how I just wanted to hear the quiet of the road again. And then, silence. When I opened my eyes, everything was dark. Absolute darkness. Slowly, my eyes adjusted, but I couldn't recognize the place. There was only sand around me. No bushes, no pine trees like in Rumorosa. Just sand. I thought I saw figures in the distance about 20 meters away. Tall, thin silhouettes like shadows. They started moving closer. Terrified, I got back in the car and drove fast until I reached the road again. And here's the strangest part. Suddenly, I realized I was no longer in La Rumorosa. I was already near La Laguna Salada, almost entering Mexicali, hundreds of kilometers ahead. I had somehow skipped the entire mountain pass with its dangerous curves, a road that normally takes at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. For me, it felt like seconds. Confused and sick to my stomach, I wanted to vomit. My chest burned, I couldn't breathe. Finally, I saw the lights of a small store. It was the first light I had seen since those blinding ones on the road. Inside, there was an old woman. She looked at me carefully and asked if I was okay. I asked for water, but my legs gave out and I almost collapsed. I wanted to cry, maybe from relief just to see another human face. She called a young man to help me. I didn't dare explain what had happened. She didn't ask, but told me one thing. You should never cross that road alone at that hour. I looked at the clock. It was past 3 in the morning. Somehow, 5 hours had gone by when for me it had only been a few minutes. When I finally got back to my car, my phone was full of missed calls and messages. From my parents, my girlfriend, my friends. To this day, I don't know how I crossed La Rumorosa in just seconds. I don't know how minutes turned into hours. I don't know what happened that night. I haven't noticed anything strange in my life since then. No changes. Just that now I never travel through Rumorosa alone, and never at night. When I pass that little store, I avoid looking inside. Even though I want to thank that woman for her help, I feel like facing her again would make me relive everything from that night. It's hard enough just writing this, or knowing that so many people will hear my story and probably won't believe me. But I truly hope no one ever goes through what I lived. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.